Sorry, no, I'm not here doing a water spot. Yeah, my hands full. Yeah, they did. What's all the glare about? Some sort of glare or haze or something everywhere. Hold on. That's no better. Oh well, we'll deal with it. Oh, you want to get a better position? Yes, I must have the high ground. Oh, be-doop, be-doop, be-doop. All right. That's my cat, Opie. Thank you once again to Homeschool for the Henry's block. Oops. A good choice too. Those picky blocks are exactly what they say. Henry's blocks come in a variety. They come in walnut, pecan, they come in healthy blocks, they come in wild blocks, they come in picky blocks. And it sure was weird when I couldn't get them to eat Henry's blocks of the healthy and the wild, and all of a sudden I decided, all right, let's try the picky one, it says, for picky squirrels. And sure enough, I don't know what they put in there, magic seeds, golden walnuts, I don't know what the deal was. But that's sort of the equalizer. Everybody likes it equally. Some don't like the healthy, some don't like the whatevers. But picky, yeah. Time to tag out. I was curious, reading a comment that you, well, Homeschool left about acidity and the chemical makeup of their saliva. Now I'm very interested because we were talking about Dot, who ended up with 2 bot flies last season. One raid 1, and then he healed from that one. And it's kind of cool because he comes right in as soon as anything happens, a scratch, a bite, whatever. We've treated him several times because he's a wild squirrel. So he had a bot fly. It got out, started healing, and I thought, all right, we're cool. Gave him antibiotics, gave him some topical. And then, not a week later, there's another one starting to grow, and I thought, all right, well, if they were both there, we'd be going to the vet to have them removed, because it's a real parasitic relationship, and obviously they hate it, but I'm always amazed by how quickly the squirrels heal. So we were talking about the possibility of them having something in their saliva, like I guess mice do, that helps them. So now I gotta find out who would know. We have a great doctor, Dr. Emerson, here in Central Florida. And she is world-renowned. People have flown her to other states, other countries, and they have flown in and spent, I can't imagine the amounts of money staying in Central Florida. And of course, for the fur baby, you do whatever you have to, whatever you can. But I'm not sure if Dr. Emerson is up for a question. I might have to ask her email or something. Are we done? Well, that's better than you did yesterday. I know, you're such a bitey little mouse. You bitey mouse. Bitey mouse. Faye. Come on. Why do you go down there? My legs hurt enough as it is. You should be up here. I may have to find my squirrel doctor interview. It's not mine. It was a segment on a show that I listen to only occasionally when it's got somebody on there that I'm interested in, because it's a hunting show. And I'm not a hunter, but Steve Rinella is the hunter's name. He does a show called Meat Eater. And if you're not a fan, I'm not suggesting you go through anything of his, because it is what you'd expect of a hunting show. It shows you every aspect of it. But occasionally he'll have wildlife experts on. And yes, people do hunt everything. And they had a squirrel expert on one time. And he wasn't there to talk about how to hunt squirrels. He was just there to give information. And he is apparently one of the foremost squirrel scientists. And he did about a 2-hour interview, and I learned more in that one interview than I have in the 10 years we've been doing this. And it just talks about squirrel behavior, squirrel habits, mating, seasonal, a variety of things, their calls, and it was pretty fascinating. So if I can find it again, I will repost that. And I wouldn't steer you wrong, so just go through it, get through the introduction, and I promise you it's very informative. Like Slinky here, right? Slinky. Hey, you having fun? So what, for instance, rather than sit here and just quietly enjoy my torture of nails, the mating cycle, I guess you'd call it, is insane. There will be a line of boys in front of a young lady's dray when she's ready to wake up. They know before she does that her estrus, her heat season, whatever, is coming on. And they will travel miles, miles and miles, to get to where she is, so that when she wakes up, there is a line of boys chasing after her through the trees. And I can always tell when it happens here, because they make this little grunting noise, this little Alan. And if one squirrel's doing that in the tree, you'll never hear it unless they're really loud, because it's more of an internal sort of purr grunt. But when there are 12, 14, 20 boys doing that in the trees, it sounds like a choir. It's just like a frog choir up there. And I'll sit here and watch all day. until it quiets down, and that usually means that someone was successful. She chose someone, and now his job is to protect her because all the boys are still after her. And once it's been successfully accomplished between him and her, she's exhausted. She's been at this since dawn, and who knows, it might be 5 o'clock by then. I don't think it happens very quickly. And so you'll see an exhausted squirrel laying on the end of a tree with a bunch of boys in towards the trunk. She'll be out here, and her boy will be here, and there'll be a line of boys that way. And his job is to chase them all away to give her enough chance to recover. And so he'll stay her boyfriend until she's ready to go, and then that's it. He's nothing more to do with it. She's on her way and does her thing, and 6 weeks later, there are kitties. Freaked me out one time because we had a squirrel named Mija, M-I-J-A, which is Spanish for daughter, or nickname, Spanish for daughter. And she came in one day, and her bottom looked very strange. And she had asked everyone I knew, and by then we had been at it for a bit, so I'd seen a lot, and I knew a lot of folks who knew a lot. And I shared pictures, and what in the world is going on down here? Do I need to take her to the vet? Does she have some sort of infection? Is this some sort of sap? She had a mating plug that's left in there to prevent other boys. It's a do not enter sign. And I don't know, she takes care of it when she doesn't need it anymore. But it was just one of the other fascinating aspects of this that never would have considered, never heard of it before. Most of my expert friends had never heard of it. And then finally we found somebody smarter than me, smarter than I. See, exactly. And she knew exactly what was going on. But it took a day at least to run through 20, 30 people to figure out what was going on. And yeah, it's a mating plug. Never heard of one till then. I know other animals have them. And it's just something the boy leaves to make sure that the babies are safe and that they're his. Okay. Enough reproduction education this morning. Way too early for me to be thinking. Alright, you coming out? And say bye? I know. It's dark in there. Last chance. You eat? No? Alright. We'll see you. Thanks.